I've been having so many major epiphanies with this new studio, with everything that's been going on, and a lot of things have just been reminding me to slow down. Like, you are actually perfectly positioned for what you want to do and what you trying to do, And so I'm looking back on some of the things that I did, and I did a lot of things right, and I'm also just reminding myself of a lot of these different messages. And I also feel like I want to share them too, because I feel like there's so many different artists, creatives, entrepreneurs, business owners, like whatever, who sort of like struggling with a lot of different thoughts. I know like I was, and now that I'm sort of like looking back on certain things, I'm like, girl, you actually did some things right, and you actually can do some things better, and here's how. So I was kind of thinking about, so that's kind of what the conversation was. I had a whole conversation about this in a car the other day. It was just a random mess. It was, yeah, but I still feel like it was helpful, so I'm gonna show that and then we'll come back. So I was listening to Beyonce. Okay, look, I always do. Andy, he said that I am not allowed to make any more Beyonce references, but like whatever. She literally be like the blueprint for so much, but at the same time, not really, because she's not a painter. So how is she my blueprint? But I feel like y'all can totally relate, because I know some of y'all watching me are not painters or visual artists. Like, maybe you're a dancer or an actor or a poet or a writer, maybe these talks inspire y'all, even though we aren't in the same field. So I get it. So that's how I literally look at Beyonce. And so they, at Spotify, after a certain while, they sort of put it on shuffle and they just start playing random stuff, and I just let it go. I feel like they sort of get my vibe. So they play something, I think, like, yeah, it was like Beyonce's one of the songs from the Lion King soundtrack or something. And I was like, okay, for a musician, for a singer, for that industry, that was like a commission for her. So as artists, we have things. So I guess every artist has just stuff that they just want to create on their own. Like they just go into the studio, Beyonce and her team is just like writing a song. It's just like something that she wants to do, versus a commission, like versus a corporation, organization, production team like Sony Pictures or whatever contacts her and a team and say, hey, can you do the soundtrack for the movie? Now that's a commission. Now Beyonce on her regular day wouldn't write a song for the Lion King, you know what I mean? And so I kind of think about that for me in my work. Like, okay, girl, you get to paint the paintings that you want to create in your studio, but sometimes those big commission, not sometimes, a lot of the times, those big, I'm gonna stop yelling because now the car isn't moving now, like, now we could just talk. What's so incredible, and why I'm reminding myself to be grateful for these different opportunities, is because that they allow you the opportunity for creative freedom. Andy was talking about this. He said one producer was saying this, like, do one for you and one for them. But for professional artists, and like if somebody who's like for real trying to get the tea, then maybe this could like really help you. When you like a professional artist in whatever field, sometimes your little passion projects don't pay the bills, so it's like you gotta make the film for Sony Pictures, you gotta make the soundtrack for Lion King, you gotta paint the mural for the corporation, for whatever business out here in Seattle who wants you to paint a mural, so it's like, what I'm reminding myself is that in the midst of this, or the other alternative is other thing. Now, having multiple streams of income, and like I do have that, and I'm just so grateful. I just think like I'm just reminding myself, like, girl, get back to doing what you can do. Of course, you have a big vision for yourself. You trying to be, you want to be this iconic, great. You already are setting the foundation for so many things. But right now, the season that you're in right now, and you literally being an infant, okay, like you literally being like a young artist, I don't think I'm considered like an emergent artist anymore. And that's kind of why I had declined that emergent artist scholarship. I was like, I don't know if I really even fit this, but I don't know. Like, emergent artist is just such a complicated word. Like, but anywho, yeah, I'm just really grateful. Okay, I don't know. I think I was talking about whatever, some crazy shenanigans. But okay, the main thing that I was thinking about today, because I was prepping stuff at the studio and cleaning things out at the studio. She already dry mouthed it. It's mural season in Seattle, so I have a lot of projects that I'm working on, but I'm also getting the studio together, and I came across one of my old murals that I painted in Seattle. So I painted this purple goddess for KEXP radio station. I think I'm a probably, no, I talked about that in that last section before. Okay, so from that KEXP mural, I painted a giant purple goddess lady. Maybe I'll tell y'all more about that in another video. I genuinely feel like I feel like that mural and that journey deserves its own video or a proper chat, or maybe an artist talk at an opening reception. Like, if y'all ever come to one of my shows in person, which you so should, okay? You're invited. If y'all hop on the newsletter, that's where I share details about where I'm gonna be. Now I feel like great, like y'all got a little bit more context, because I think in that clip that I just showed y'all, I talked about how she like deserves her own video, and I'm actually gonna make a full video for that. And so like today I was just like brainstorming about so many things, and so also want to let my patrons know as well. And so this is gonna go out first to my patrons, but then later it'll be uploaded here on the Gemini Diary. So shout out to my co-creators, okay? I love y'all. Y'all are helping making this happen and help making it possible. That really had me thinking about how I am able to make it possible. And like the thing is, like, of course I don't want to be like, I don't want to share too much, or like, like I'm not trying to like teach or coach or whatever, but I also just like, I just know how helpful it is, like when somebody just like lets you know what's going on behind the scenes, because it can really save people time. It can also save people just, I don't know, like, are we gonna have a conversation? I don't know, because actually, yeah, maybe that's not the right thing to talk. It like involves other people, and I don't want to be like putting their business out there. But all I'm saying is that like the more you know, and the more that we like reveal some of the behind the scenes that's going on, the more artists can like, because the thing is, I think I do have a video on the main channel talking about being like disillusioned. And I think I was like, I had a bit of a romanticized idea, like some rose colored glasses. And so whatever, we taking the rose colored glasses off, but I'm realizing that I can still do things in a different way that will still serve me as an artist, as a creator, but also as a businesswoman. And it can also still serve the people who are fans of my work, And so one of the things that I was thinking about, so actually like patrons, since you are getting this early, like you getting some of the behind the scenes. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking about for y'all. So I feel like I kind of feel bad because I haven't opened the studio up yet to the public or to my patrons, or like, I kind of have had like little small visits here and there. They've been like, collectors picking up paintings, or curators coming by the studio. Like the youth came by. Oh, look at the baby birds. Oh, can y'all see the birds? I just love the birds and just love being out here. Man, y'all, the apples are falling. I got to get some more apples up. So look, she got all the way distracted, but my patrons, I can let y'all know what's going on. So I was kind of feeling bad that I hadn't like really opened up my studio yet, but then I released it. I'm like, girl, you still moving in, you still settling in. Ain't nobody expecting you to kind of open your doors immediately. I think, a couple different people were asking to come by, and like, I got some emails, got some text messages, and I was like, okay, I'm still not ready, y'all, okay? But super, super grateful for my supporters, friends, fans, family, patrons, colleagues who've been excited to see the studio. So I'm definitely gonna make that happen and make that possible for y'all. And so tentatively, I'm thinking about the end of August. And so, but I was like, you know what? And I think I talked about this in another video on the main channel though, where I talked about just like where everybody doesn't have access to me. And so the other thing is just like managing my energy, like managing what I want to do, how I want to show up, what I want to share, and what's the intention behind it and what's the energy behind it. And that is why I do love Gemini Diary, because I just feel like the energy behind it is just like so fluid and so flowy and so, but also it does come from an intention to help too, because like I just like love reading y'all comments over here too. Like, it feels like there's other artists or other creators or business owners who's trying to build what they're trying to build. So I feel like I can also kind of give y'all some of the tea, But so what I'm thinking about for the studio is that I'm going to open the doors to my patrons and partners. So I'm thinking maybe it'll be like a patrons and partners party. Okay. So pretty much it's kind of like a private event that's only available to my patrons and my partners. So pretty much people who are signed up via Patreon or people who I've worked with in the past. So I've worked with and the thing is, when I even think about like, inviting the partners or the organizations that I've worked with in the past, that's gonna be hella, okay? which is great. So it's like so maybe it'll be like a semi-private event, like maybe not private, maybe like semi-private. But so opening the doors up to my patrons and my partners so that they can see the studio. It'll still be a little bit in a rough state, maybe not, because I'm actually today I felt like I was cleaning it up, getting it together, but it's still not going to be in its final ideal state, and I'm reminding myself like, girl, nobody's expecting that of you. Like, nobody is expecting your studio to be perfect. Like, at the end of the day, it is a workspace. And so it's, of anything, if it's too pristine, it's like, girl, where do you even paint in here? Like, where do you even, where's your sandbox for you to play and get messy, And so, yeah, I also feel like my patrons and, organizations that I've worked with in the past will have that lens. And yeah, and also those are just like the people that I'm excited to invite into my studio first, And so, with that being said, of course, patrons, co-creators, y'all gonna get the dates on all of that. I do have a date written down. I don't want to say it yet, but I probably will include it in Patreon for y'all, okay? And so, of course, this is for the local people. But hey, if you coming in from out of town, if you gonna be here in Seattle and you out of town, you are so invited as well as a patron. And so, but I'm gonna keep y'all posted on exactly the dates for that. But in me cleaning my studio out, I kept the large section of the KEXP mural. Okay, so bringing this back to murals. And so I painted this purple goddess. Okay, she's sort of known as like the purple goddess around Seattle. Okay, and I still kept her. It was a temporary installation. It was up for about like 2.5 years. We took it down. This was back in 2016. No, I finished painting it in 2016. We took it down in 2018, I think. And so we cut up pieces. We had a bonfire. We had a whole like ceremony of the process. Like, oh my God, I just like can't wait to like actually make a proper video for that. Like, I don't know, like maybe this is the proper video. Like, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, maybe I can like tell y'all. So just like keeping it raw and rough, But yeah, no, maybe I'll do like a nice video, because like, I don't know, like maybe I'll do like a nice video on the main channel, but like kind of over here on the Gemini Diary and with the Patreon exclusive, y'all getting like me, y'all are literally witnessing me brainstorm this in real time, because I literally just came up with this today. And so as I was cleaning out the studio, I saw the bit of the purple goddess, because we cut up pieces of it when it was time to come down in 2018. We had a ceremony, had a whole bonfire, honoring the piece. Look, I'm so just like, everything is sacred for me. Like, everything needs a ritual or a practice, And so we did the whole bonfire, and some pieces I kept, some pieces I gifted. And so I really loved the purple portrait. And so that was a piece that I did intentionally keep. And I've literally have held on to that piece for so long. It's gone with us from apartment to apartment to apartment. And Andy has just been like, babe, it's time. It's time to give it up. Okay. It's time to give it up. And so I'm ready. I feel like this space is where I'm going to release this purple goddess mural. And the thing is, I'm still going to keep her. I'm actually just going to upcycle the plywood. And so I was sketching out something in the studio to make where Andy can help me build. Look, not help me build. His ass going to be building it. I'd be like, oh, where Andy can help me build, it'd be him just making the stuff for me. So pretty much where Andy will build for me some stools, but using the piece from the mural and cutting up that plywood and upcycling the wood so that we be like look, recycle and reuse. Okay, I'm all about that 100%. And I think it will look really cool in the studio, like to have like the section of her eyes and the section of her nose and her mouth, like cutting that up. So I kind of sketched it out like super quick on like the back of a card that was in my studio, and I just sketched out how it will look. And so I'm thinking like the front facing way can show the mural, but then on the other side it would be open where storage can be in there. Like I could put books, art supplies, paints, canvases, whatever, and then it could also be on wheels. So when more people come to my studio, they have a place to sit. When people are gone, I also have places to store different things. And so I think it's really going to be a beneficial thing. But I'm like, okay, with this patron and partner party, that is a tongue twister, let's call it P3 for now. Okay, with the P3 event coming up in the end of August, the other thing that I want to share with my co-creators, and of course, like y'all kind of just like whoever is like, if you aren't a patron, it's totally fine, you don't have to be one. But if you just are getting inspired or getting like inspiration for events that you got or something that you about to create, then like cool, be my guest. But just like letting y'all know about what's going on. So also with the P3 event, this will also be like the last time to see the purple goddess in her full state, like before she gets cut and demolished. Okay, but maybe not demolished, before she is dismantled. Like I don't know, like because things I don't want to use like destructive language, like demolished or destroyed or cut or whatever. But she will be cut, But the thing is, she's not gonna go to the landfill. I'm just gonna reuse and upcycle the wood, which really makes me happy. So, but I was also thinking about like doing enamel pins of her too. Like the pins was really a big hit. The Mama's Gun pin. Actually, shout out to Fifth Avenue Theater and shout out to Aviona, okay, who is one of my patrons here on Patreon. So if you are watching this by any chance, hey Avi, okay, look, thank you so much for just like being here as well as inviting me on this project at Fifth Avenue Theater. But I'm gonna keep that secret for the other people. Look, that's between us. Okay, that's between us. But at the meeting, one of the Fifth Avenue Theater attendees was saying, we had an in-person meeting, and she was like, I should have wore my Mama's Gun pin. She was like, I love my pins. I was like, oh my God, that's so great. And then earlier today, I was at another event dropping off some work, and one of the people was saying how much she loved my KEXP mural, and it's been like 8 years now. Like and people still talk to me about that mural and still tell me how much they love it and how much they miss it. And I'm like, man, well, like maybe I should make enamel pins available of the purple goddess. So let me know if that's something that y'all will be interested in. Because I can definitely make that happen. But that is something that I'm thinking about, especially since now, like I'm literally going to be cutting her up, and she's no longer going to be in existence in the state that she was on the wall. But yeah, so back to what I was talking about though in the car, as well as like the sort of, take your time, be patient on the process. So I have slowed down on social media, right? And what's been maintaining me through this process has been murals and different projects and consulting as well, speaking. I do so much stuff. I do a lot of different things, but so I was talking about Beyonce, because Andy said I can't tell him no more about Beyonce, but I could tell y'all about Beyonce. And this is what I learned from her Coachella performance. Okay, I listen to the Homecoming live album probably just about every day. I listen to it when I go to the gym, when I'm working out. Like it's just like my sort of amp up. It's like my amp up music, I love it. And so I rewatched the Homecoming Netflix documentary as well, and I was like, man, I love this too. Like she just did so many things, right? And so I talked about in the car from the previous clip that I showed y'all, and this is what I had wanted to expand upon, was the commissions, right? So like Beyonce, she not about to just make a song for Lion King in her studio because that's what she wants to do. She was commissioned to create the soundtrack for Lion King, and then from there she's able to optimize it. The same way with Coachella paid her to come out and perform, but on the back end she's like, how can I also make this a benefit for my fans, for my community, and how can I even make it bigger than Coachella, So it's like for her to do the Netflix documentary, for her to do the live album, that even inspires me. Like, okay, so if doing commissions is helping you pay the bills, how can you still bring an opportunity to your audience. And that's really kind of what I did. That's what I did for the Mama's Gun mural. That was a mural that I painted, that I was commissioned and paid to paint by the Paramount Theater, STG, Seattle Theater Group, thanks to Tarika Waters, who brought me on the project. And so they paid me to do that project. And so I'm like, of course, with public art and murals, that is something that's available for the public, but it's like, once you go home, you're not able to enjoy it. And I think what's so great is that I'm able to still listen to the Homecoming Live album in my house, in my headphones, when I'm on a train, when I'm jogging, So it's like, what can people take with them throughout their day and still get them like encouraged and motivated throughout the day and just inspired, And so hearing my supporters talk about how much they like love the pins or love prints or like love whatever that I'm making available where they can actually have it. And I talked about this in a previous video in one of the videos where I was like, the art studio got me rethinking my art business or something. So it's kind of like going back to like what can people have. But here's where it's a little bit different though. So because I talked about that in that video about like, making stuff available to the people, but it's a different energy though, because like, I feel like before, the reason why I felt that I needed social media so much was because I had to market. So it's like, now I made this thing available, I have to sell it. So it's like, I have to market, let me go on social media, let me do what I have to do. But if I am just making a bonus product from a project that I was already paid for, like I'm already good, you know what I mean? So it's like, even with Beyonce, and now of course, I don't know the back end of her Coachella payment or like the Netflix deal or whatever, but it was like, she was probably paid a large lump sum from Coachella alone. So it's like, she didn't have to sell. She wasn't worried about her Homecoming album being like a top chart seller, because it's like, well, I'm literally just gifting this to my fans. Like I'm literally just, whoever couldn't make it to Coachella, whoever couldn't be there, I still want them to experience this. And like, I didn't go to Coachella. I've been to 2 other Beyonce concerts and they are magical every time. But there's a lot of times when people don't go to things live, So it's like, how do we still make it available to our supporters? And so by her doing that with the Homecoming Live album, she created that experience in addition to the Homecoming documentary through Netflix. So I was like, man, she created all these different things from one performance. Now, granted, it was a 2-day performance, but everything that she did to build up to it was insane. And so, I'm not a big fan of like comparing artists or whatever, but I feel like this is the moment when you see the businesswoman in Beyonce, because it makes me think about Frank Ocean and his Coachella performance and how he canceled it. And I know he was going through like a lot of different things, and that's his business, and whatever he's working through, we hope that he's well. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I feel like there was like a missed opportunity there. Any artist who performs anywhere and on a big stage, it's like, there's also the content you can get from that. Like, even of me sharing the behind the scenes of my journey as an artist, it's like, yeah, like a lot of these shows, like the opening reception is like one day, but y'all are still able to continue to experience it and enjoy it and get inspired by it, or hear me talking about it, or seeing the work, even if you weren't able to come in person, if you live across the globe, or if you just couldn't make it that day, So I just start to think about the different opportunities that how we can still leverage commission projects. So I got to thinking, like, how could we leverage stuff that we kind of already paid to do? You know what I mean? It takes the pressure off the creator. It takes the pressure off the audience. Oh, look at this dragonfly just hanging out with me. Beautiful. Yeah, I feel like it also takes the pressure off the audience too, because, I've just even been thinking about Patreon, like, what more can I do? What more can I offer? And that's why I'm just so super grateful for my patrons, because they be chilling, they don't be stressing me out at all. Look, can y'all see the dragon? Oh, maybe if he comes back. He is having a field day. Wow, I love dragonflies. I have a dragonfly tattoo on my arm. Okay, I'm gonna try this. If he just flies, I'm gonna just leave it be. Okay, if he flies to... He was like right here, like right... I was like, yeah, if he just flies, then like, okay, I'm gonna try not to get distracted. But if you're listening on the headphones and just got me going on in the background, then I'll let you know when the dragonfly, he was right there. I don't know if y'all can see him. I hope y'all can see him. He's just, okay, Erin was like, just made my day. Okay, so, is that weird if we that far? Like, do you feel not close to me? Like, y'all listening, you're not really looking at me though, are you? You got me playing in the background, so it's fine. We don't gotta be that close to each other, but just know you're close to me in spirit. Now maybe I got y'all too far, because now you're getting close to me. Oh. What's interesting is that I've always been that person to leverage every opportunity, so even I was saying with the Paramount Theater mural, thanks to STG and Tarika Waters, and I made the Mama's Gun pins. Even with the Black Lives Matter mural, I made the V. I painted the V in that mural, but then I made the V pins available. All of my paintings, I make prints available. I make so many different things. But I'm just thinking, like, it's just reminding me, I don't know, like, kind of in like the conversation that I was having earlier in the car around the streets will humble you. The streets will humble you. And in the midst of a lot of the stuff. Oh, okay. So let me kind of give y'all a little bit of context for it too, because a lot of this has been made possible. I was able to have these realizations because I did pause social media, and of course, in pausing my social media, my income did decrease on my online shop, but I was still able to stay afloat because of the murals. And so I think for a while I was doing so much of my own promo and marketing. And so when I did pause that, I did have to count on some of the murals and other projects that people were specifically commissioning me or asking me to do. Now, mind you, when I say commissions, like, I don't paint commissions for like personal people. I'm not gonna paint a portrait of your aunt or anything like that. Like, I mean, like corporate commissions, specifically murals. Murals are projects that really allow me the freedom to be able to paint whatever I want in my studio, because those are big budget projects and a lot of the general public is able to see it. So it also serves as marketing for me. And so like with personal murals, it's like, yeah, I'm painting this thing for one person in their one family. Now, of course, word of mouth is powerful, and I don't think we need to go into that. Like, there's a lot of layers involved with doing personal commissions for people. Okay. And I'm sure a lot of artists can relate why they don't want to do commissions. And so I agree with a lot of the reasons. But the thing is, I still do commissions. I just do murals. And so in this social media break, it's shown me how murals has been able to help me on this journey. And it's so funny. I haven't even showed the murals yet. I haven't really finished a lot of them. So, but just, yeah, like, and that's the crazy thing. Like, there can be so many projects going on behind the scenes that like the world doesn't see. And so I also like to remind artists that like, there's a lot that you don't see, like it's all subjective of whatever the artist wants to share or whatever the content creator wants to share, so it's like, we don't know everybody's life. We don't know all of their streams of income of everything that's going on, but as artists, it's like, how can we leverage different things? And so one of my things is like, if somebody is already paying me for a project, how can I turn this into 4 different opportunities for my community and supporters to experience it? So one, they're able to experience it, but also this is also now multiple income streams for me, So I just think that Beyonce did really well with Coachella and like turning it into, it's like, it's really up to us to like turn it into a movement, like, yeah, she says it on Homecoming. She was the first Black woman to headline Coachella, which is crazy. But it's like, yeah, Coachella, they I don't know, like, that might not be a big deal for them, like maybe it is, but at the same time, it's a big deal to us, and it's a big deal to Beyonce. So it's like, it's up to her, yeah, to advocate for herself and to be like, no, this is a big moment, and I wanna honor my artistry, myself, my community, my culture. I want to highlight all these other artists and creators through this Homecoming drumline live band experience, and it was just incredible. Not a buggy. It was an ant, an ant trying to get in the bosom. And trying to get in bosom. Yeah, so I'm just reminding myself that like there's so many different ways. There's so many ways to get paid. There's so many ways to get paid. And I think I needed the reminder to like don't limit yourself. Like because I did get frustrated for a while with murals and like look, patrons, if you are watching this, you got access to the Patreon exclusive playlist. And so I do have a video talking about that. And it's also just about honoring the different seasons that we in, and so I'm in this season, but I also feel like now I got my sea legs, like now I feel like okay, we got it, like we really about to show up in the highest version, because now I realize that, oh yeah, no, there isn't. Now I think I'm just really realizing what I want out of life, and I can choose, I can decide. It doesn't have to look like anybody's, like, and also it's gonna ebb and flow. I did have a desire for my paintings to sell at a high price bracket. And I'm also just thinking like, why? Like why? What's the intention there? Like what is the goal with that? And the more that I have, the more that I'm able to serve, and the more that I'm able to give, and the more I'm able to show up, So I do have a very abundant mindset. But the thing is like just be clear about the intentions, and don't let it just be like pricey just for the sake of pricey, just like, oh, for the sake of whatever. It's like, girl, whatever. And now I do believe in prints and making things accessible in different ranges, and so that's what I do. But I am just thinking, I think I just got turned off from murals for a while. There was a lot that was going on. And what I'm really coming down to realizing is that I got burnt out from murals during the pandemic. I was doing a lot of them. I was really just doing the most. Okay. But what I'm realizing now is that I think, what I'm realizing, the lighting is changing. Let me let y'all. So the story with this, okay, why she got one lock knot is like I braided all of my locks, and it takes 3 locks to make one braid, and I left one. Like I had braided all my hair, and it was just like one long loose lock. I was like, damn, I missed one, so I just turned that into a lock knot. If you're trying to figure out what's going on with my hair, yeah, it's this little. That's a lock knot, and then these are the braids. It's gonna have my little beach waves, okay? But anywho, okay, what I'm realizing is that I did a lot of things right. I think what I did wrong is that I was trying to do everything at once. All of those different things are great, but you don't have to do them all at once. So right now it's mural season in Seattle. It's the summertime, so it's like, cool, girl, focus on the murals. Like don't try to like launch a product, do your own campaign where you got to update your Shopify website, and you got to take photos of the products, and now you got to market on social media and paint the murals and be up on the scissor lift and the ladders and stuff out in the city. It's like, you don't got to do all that. But the thing is, the reason why I've been able to be selective with projects is because of my patrons, okay? So thank y'all. Really, it's genuinely because of my patrons, and it's because of the multiple different income streams that I have, where I'm like, you know what, if you sort of only want to pay me like $2,000 for this mural, and it's giant okay, and it's gonna take me days and weeks to paint this, it's like that might not, maybe I don't say yes to that project. Maybe I say yes to a 5-figure mural budget, where now I'm able to really dedicate my time to that, and also I'm good. Like I don't have to, because the thing is, whenever I do accept lower price things, that's not able to sustain me. So now I do have to be making the Instagram reels and promoting my shop and having prints and also speaking and consulting and like doing all the different things, So I'm reminding myself that like everything you was doing was absolutely right. Now how can we get in alignment and really get strategic with how we want to roll things out, And so even when I think about the patron and partner party that I'm doing towards the end of August, I was like, well, man, like, are you gonna make it available to public? Like, can just like anybody come? And I'm just like, yeah, no, like, no, like, I don't, No, like there's so many different opportunities where I make myself available to the public, and like my studio is really like my second home, and especially now this studio is damn like a second home. Like I got a whole bathroom in there, a shower, a kitchenette. Like I mean, I'm not about to be living in the studio. Like I got my whole house. Okay, I'm super blessed and I'm super grateful. Like I don't have to live in my studio. Again, I would not be living in my studio. Look, in case my landlord is listening, he's like, we aren't coded for that. No, she's not gonna be living in the studio. But no matter what though, it is still my sacred space, and I can be selective about who has access to me, my time, my space, and just my energy in general. So I was like, okay, cool, girl. Like you still even trying to get adjusted. You still got a lot of projects going on in the summer with it being mural season. So just like do what you can right now. Make it available to the people who have helped make it possible, which is my friends, my family, supporters, patrons, and partners. Like I don't want just like random people just in there just being nosy, like, oh, let me see what she got going. Like, no, we don't need monitoring spirits over here. Okay, look, she can barely say it, but yeah, no, it's like, yeah, I don't need nobody over there being nosy just to see some shit. My thing is, if you want to see it, head on over to my main channel so that I can get the view and be monetized. It's like I'm done sharing energy for free. It's like, no. That's why I love YouTube, because it's like people can be nosy, but I still get paid. Like I still get paid though. So like if you want to lurk, yeah, I like you don't get paid from just like Instagram lurkers. You get paid from YouTube lurkers. Like I mean, I guess you kind of do with Instagram if you monetize with the reels and stuff, but we ain't about to do that whole thing. Okay, look, it ain't enough. Okay, a lot of this stuff isn't enough when it comes down to the social media, and so it just made me realize like where are you really spending your time, where are you really spending your energy, And since I have paused social media, I realized that it was a distraction for me. That honestly might have to be a whole nother video in itself, and I'm not even about to hash that open. But I am coming back to Instagram. Maybe by the time of releasing this, I might actually be back. I might be back. I don't know. But I am coming back to Instagram. But I'm coming to things with just like a major energy shift. Energy shift. We coming in a different way. Yeah. So in reminding myself that everybody doesn't have to have access. Because then, you know what I read? Because let's really go there. Because like, if you sort of at this part of the talk, then you really there. So like, let's talk about it. Because, I am somebody who was previously a people pleaser. And so like, when I set up, I felt guilty for setting up boundaries. I felt guilty for telling people no. I felt guilty. I felt bad. I felt like I was a mean person. And I'm realizing that you aren't being mean. You're actually protecting your energy. And I think when I first heard that, I would be like, oh, well, protect. It felt like having a wall up. And I don't like having walls up. I just like being open. Like I'm an open book. I really am. And like, I love people. I just love this human experience. I genuinely do. And like, I love being around people, and I love sharing with people in such a genuine, open-hearted way. And so whenever I would hear protect my energy, I'm like, man, that sort of almost immediately puts me in a mindset of that I need to put a wall up, which now separates me from that person, But I'm realizing that I shifted my mindset around it, where I'm not putting a wall up. I'm actually just doing an energy audit, where now I'm allocating that energy and putting it towards the people who are actually pouring back into me. Because what I realized when I was just pouring my energy out to everybody, the people that I love and care about the most was getting the least of it. So it's like Andy will build me. Andy will do anything for me. Like, I am so grateful to have such an incredible partner and to have such an incredible sort. My friends will do anything for me. Like, I just like my mom. I can call my mom right now. Like, I am just so grateful for my community, and those are the people that I want to give my energy to. So there is no reason in this world that I should be giving more energy out into the public, general, random strangers than the people that I'm giving in my real life, who I care for and who care for me and giving giving me their energy, and so when I start to realize that, like, no, okay, you don't need to protect your energy, like put this wall up. You actually just need, it's like those people kind of just don't even exist in my mind. They really, it's just like, not the apple's fault. It's not even the thing. Like, when I think, what I think the issue that I have with the word, like, protect your energy, it makes me think of, it still shines the light to the person you're trying to protect from. It still gives them the attention. My thing is, like, I don't even want to talk about the person who I need to protect my energy from. Like, they don't even matter. The person that matters is the people who I do want to give my energy to. So, like, of anything, it's not about, like, protecting my energy. It's about pouring my energy, pouring the abundance and overflow of energy, of love and compassion for the people who care for me and reciprocate in that way, So it's like, I don't even think about protecting my energy, Now, granted, I think you should, okay? Especially if you are in an environment, a toxic environment where, like, you genuinely need to protect your energy in that way. But I'm also very particular about my circle, and I'm also particular about who gets access to me. Like, I'm starting to even get. And so the thing is, like, I was already particular about who had access to me in my real life, but I'm realizing that it's also important in the digital space too. And I didn't really think, like, I think because I was coming from, like, an artist perspective, and, like, wanting to share my work and wanting to get the word out about my work, it was like you start to think, like, all eyes are good eyes, or, like, anybody who's watching, or anybody who sees your art, anybody who sees your video, anybody is, like, good. No. Actually, the quality of that person matters. The quality of that viewer, collector, patron, gallery visitor, like, the quality of that person matters. Now, of course, not like, of course anybody can, like, enjoy art, but just when it comes down to, like, how I'm showing up and what I'm giving them. And yeah, but I also don't want to, like, shut down my energy, but I think for givers, for like empathic people who maybe are people pleasers, I think it is really important to curate your circle so that you don't have leeches in the circle. Because when you have a leech in the circle with givers, everybody end up depleted, So I've just really reframed my mindset around a lot of things, and realizing that, like, yeah, everybody don't have to have access, but the people who do have access, like, they're about to get my all, because they give me their all. And it's such a beautiful exchange, and it's possible, I think for a while, like, I thought experiences like this wasn't even possible, having great relationships, having patrons who literally just want to pour into you for what you are doing and how you're showing up in the world. I didn't even think stuff like that was possible. But a thing that started to shift with me is me putting myself in the position of the fan. Because the thing is, like, there's so many artists and creators and musicians and songwriters and actors and just people who I love. And I'm like, if I love Beyonce the way that I love Beyonce, why couldn't somebody love my work the way that I love hers? And it's like, of course people would. Of course somebody would love my work in that way, So I'm like, okay, let me get back to the work. Okay, like, let me get back to the work, because the work is what matters, and the work is how I'm able to show up in the world. It's like the minute I get over myself, the minute I get over me being lost, confused, and trying to figure shit out, the sooner I can get back to the creative work that I want to share with the people. And that's the stuff that really raises the vibration for them and for me, And of course, I also feel like these videos are a part of my creative work as well, because these be the messages that I be needing to hear. They really are. But have I been... Child, please don't tell me I've been blurry this whole time. But, like, whatever. It is what it is at this point. Oh, so she didn't forgot her whole train of thought. In the thing about people having access to me, it's like, sure, we still want to share. We still want to, like, be out there. And we still want to market. Okay, look, we still want to market and promo. So I am going to be doing an event that's open to the public around the holiday season. So maybe like October, November, December, we might relaunch the Zodiac gift boxes. Like, yeah, there's just like a lot of different holiday things that I'm already thinking about right now. So yeah, people can still participate in that way. And so yeah, and then hopefully by that time, when the patrons come back to the studio around the holiday times, we'll be done making the seating areas out of the KEXP Purple Goddess mural, and then y'all can see the update of like what Andy built in the studio. So I'm super duper excited. But thank y'all so much for being here with me. Like, I'm just, man, I just feel really grateful, and I just really want to send this love and light to y'all as well. So I hope y'all have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Peace out. Clearly I'm tired now.